we doing today? Again, we are doing a fast 5, but these are 5 of my favorites. So this is a fast favorite 5, if you would. So without any further ado, you guys know what time it is. Turn down the volume because here comes some music. Playing behind me is, I don't really think I need to introduce Demolition Ranch. Matt Carricker, home of the Demolition. If you guys can't tell, I'm a fan. So he actually gave me a shout out in one of his videos one time. I made one of my Kiridashi neck knives specifically for him and sent it to him, and I got a call out in one of his videos way back in the day. So like I said, I can't provide him monetary support, but I will send him some subscribers and some viewers. Not that he really needs them, but support the channels you love. So, okay guys, what are we gonna talk about? I've picked out 5 of my favorite knives, and I've got them all laid out, and we're gonna go through them. We're just gonna do it five fast knife review style like I did last time. You guys seem to like it. Jared recommended it. He said it's pretty good content. Everybody seems to like it, so that's what we're gonna do. So I will meet you guys down at the counter, and we're going to go through 5 of my favorite knives real fast. All right, guys. The first knife we're going to look at is the Ferrum Forge N-Tac. This was the first Ferrum Forge knife I ever bought. I've had this knife for a long time. I actually bought this off of Knife Center. I have the actual receipt for this knife. This was, I picked one of these up the first time I ever went to Ferrum Forge. I liked the knife. They had other models there that I saw, but this was the one that I kept gravitating back to. I even got the same pattern as the one that was there. The one that was on her counter that I was messing with actually belonged to Elliot and Chris's mom. I've actually opened my choil up on mine a little bit more, and Elliot put in a little bit of jimping on the flipper tab. Not so much for function, but just because I like that look. This knife has been great. I carried this knife for a long time. It was one of those first smaller, real robust folders that I ever had gotten, and I fell in love with it. Action on it's still great. It's still a great knife. It's a good bit thicker than a lot of the knives that I tend to go to now, but that was back in the day that these were pretty much what you were getting. There was a lot of these thick boy folders that were on the market, and I will tell you, this has done a lot of work over the years. Full titanium, rolling detent, lock bar insert, with over travel stop, full titanium construction. I've done a lot of, not necessarily modification, but anodizing. So you can see I did gold, polished gold on the hardware. Well, at least the pivot and the pocket clip. I've redone the ano on this a few times. It's been a bunch of different colors. I've actually refinished the blade a few times. And it's in N690, but it takes and holds a really good edge. So there we go. The Ferrum Forge N-Tac, one of those old school Ferrum Forges that I really love. So the next knife I've got is another, these are all favorites of mine. This is the Chavez Ultramar Street. And basically what this is a scaled down version of the 228. So the 228 was a mid-tech version of Ramon's Redención, which was a big custom folder. This is basically a scaled down version. There's also a 229, which is basically the production version of the 228 full production. This was done by Riat. Typical Chavez skull clip. I love this clip. A lot of people don't like it. They say it's over the top. It's kind of garish. That's one of the things I love about it. Really nice look on this blade where you get that flat into the hollow. It's nice and hollow here. The only thing I wish about this knife, I wish it was a little thinner behind the edge right here on the tip. Action on this, incredible action on this. It runs on bearings. It's a thumb flipper only. The jimping on it is super aggressive, really deep, really sharp. And you definitely get good purchase on it. Feels great in hand. Even with that big pocket clip, it's not a hot spot. So I like this knife enough. This is another one of those ones that I've taken the time to modify kind of myself. I opened up the sharpening choil ever so slightly. I did black ceramic, two-tone here, that is orange peel and orange ano, or and bronze ano, and ceramic, so it's two-tone. I wanted to do that so that you had that pop of color just in one, so you only see that color in one spot, whichever direction you look at it. So you'll see the bronze here, then you see the bronze here, but you're not seeing bronze. This probably needs re-anodized. It's not very, very bronze anymore because it does get a lot of pocket time. I just really love the aesthetics of this knife. Great, great, great knife. So that's number 2, the Chavez Ultramar Street. Okay, so this next one is a knife I've actually owned twice. I owned an old school Sebenza, which would have been the classics back then. This was before they even started using S30V. I owned one that was, I think it was BG42 steel. This one, I sold that knife and immediately regretted it. Turned around and bought another one. This is my Sebenza Large 21 that is in S35 VN. There's just something about the Sebenza. I've said it before. It is just elegant simplicity, and not just in the way it looks, just the way it functions, the way it feels, everything about it. It is a work knife beyond anything else. It is pretty straightforward in what it's trying to be. It is just a good all-around folding knife. Jimping on it is here on the spine. It is not large, but it's adequate, and it's not slick. Full titanium construction. It rides on it rides on two bearings, or not bearings, I'm sorry, but 2 washers in there that are done in different sizes because of the lock bar. It's a really, really well done knife. The tolerances on it are incredible. The action on it is pretty perfect. And the thing about it is, like, you know it's reliable. You know you're going to be able to use it. I know a lot of people talk about the steel not being as hard as other companies run it, but that lets you have the ability to really do some touch up. And the fact is, you can't ever talk about the folding knife world without bringing up the Sebenza. It's just so ingrained. I mean, everything about it is really, really, it just knocks it out of the park. Pocket clip is just about perfect for production pocket clip. The lock bar tension, no lock stick, the hydraulic action you get on these knives, there's just nothing there. There is no friction. It's not drop shut smooth, but when you release that tension, it does drop. Like, that lock bar tension keeps it from dropping. But the second you release that lock bar tension, if you release the lock bar tension, it just is super, super smooth. Let me do that again. See? Just awesome, awesome all-around knife. And the fact is, one of the ingenious things about this knife is every one of these screws is exactly the same size. If you were to happen to take this screw, get it mixed up for this screw or this screw, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. And the fact is, when you take this knife and put it back together, take apart, put it back together, you just tighten everything down. There is no play around with trying to see, do I still have lock play? Do I have blade wiggle? Do I have any of this? Nope. You just crank everything down until it stops. Gorgeous. I mean, talk about just all around near on perfect in a knife. The Chris Reeve Sebenza. Okay, and if we're going to talk about favorite knives, you guys kind of know what the next 2 knives are going to be. This is a knife that I have said for years, still say it is the best production knife I've ever owned. This was, it's a higher end production knife. This is my Reat Horizon D in carbon fiber and titanium. It's another knife. You can tell when I have a knife that I like, I've modified it. All of the knives you've seen here has got some sort of touch that I've put on it. All this was polished and then re-anodized by me. All the hardware, everything. I even polished up the carbon fiber a little bit. The carbon fiber on this was done so well. It looks like it's checkered down in there, but it's not. If you're to run your thumbnail through that, that's just super, super good, clean, smooth machining. No chips, no chatters. And that's saying a lot in carbon fiber. This knife, action on it is just incredible. Done in M390, super comfortable in hand, cuts so well. M390 on this holds an incredible edge. Their heat treat on this was just spot on perfect. I love this knife so much. David Deng, actually, when I bring this to shows, he's seen it and he says my favorite, and people are like, oh, he loves the Horizon D, and then Leon Ma was telling people, he's like, no, he means that this one, like this one is his favorite because of the little touches I've done on it and things like that. So I love this knife to death. It still gets a lot of pocket time. And like I said, still absolutely one of my favorite knives ever, and definitely, like I say, the best production knife I've ever purchased. For all around bells and whistles, like I would say that this is a great production knife, but bells and whistles you get on this knife, you just can't compare it. And then, like I said, you can flick it. It's such good action. You can even flick it with that that fuller that's on it. So that is number 4, the Horizon D by React. And of course, I think you guys saw this coming. This is my favorite knife ever. I like to say that's my favorite production knife, or the best production knife I've ever owned. This is my favorite knife of all time, favorite knife I've ever owned. I saved and saved and saved for years to be able to purchase one. I knew exactly what I wanted in the patterning. I wanted the reverse honeycomb because of the way it wears. So as you see, I did this blue, and as it's worn, it's kind of almost a bronze down with blue still down in those. I did a bronze and blue pocket clip, 2-tone, so you can see it's blue and bronze, blue down in here. I carry this so much, you can see I've just worn a lot of the blue anodizing off to where it's now bronze. This knife is amazing. The action on it is incredible. Just the cutting capability it has with the 2 different edges, so good. The recurve angle on this is just enough to give you that extra cutting horsepower. It's done just thin enough that it cuts really well. And then you have this really robust forward edge, so that you really need to get on something and cut through it. I catch myself doing a lot of putting stuff down and rolling through it with this knife, and that edge is so great. A lot of people say they don't like the steel choice in the RWL34. I love RWL34. I love the action. I love the smoothness. I love the way it feels in hand. It's just a great knife. And now that I own one myself, this is something I would never part with. This would stay in my collection. It does get a lot of use. The jimping on it is just about perfect for hard use. The flipper tab is not, it's not real sharp, and it's just enough to get you where you want to go. The detent on it is just perfect for thumb flipping, and just that flat detent gets you an amazing action. And the fact that they did such a good job in putting this together, making it so simple to maintain. It's just, it's got the double stop pin system. So if you do run into an issue where you start to get blade play, all you have to do is get a hold of them up there at Grimsmo, and they'll send you an oversized stop pin. All you have to be able to do is measure the stop pin that's currently in it. So great knife. My favorite knife of all time. I always wanted one. It's the Grail knife that I finally got. So there you go, guys. That's 5 fast ones. Let's meet up and do some final thoughts. Guys, there was 5 of my favorite knives done real fast. So I wanted to make sure I showed you guys this. I don't know if anybody's heard, if you guys have seen this yet. I haven't figured out when I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do the Pocky One Chip Challenge. I'm gonna do it as a fundraiser for my daughter, for her skating. You guys will see this video be done live, probably podcast format, so we might have some guests in. I have 2 of these, and I would like to see, I'm gonna try and see if I can get somebody to do that with me. And it would just be something fun. And you guys, like, if you guys don't like me, you haters that watch this stuff all the time, you might want to tune in for that one, because I'm gonna suffer. It's gonna be horrible. So guys, I mean, that's it. The video is pretty self-explanatory. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I have the merch store and everything set up down below. I actually have a discount code to the merch store. So what you'll find is a general link to Ember Shirt Co. You'll find a link to my store on Ember Shirt Co. And you'll find a discount code that gets you 10%, it's a coupon code that gets you 10% off any purchases on Ember Shirt Co., whether it's from my store or not. It's CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, all one word, CrazySharp. So guys, if you want to support the channel, you can become a paying member. I just recently have stated that I'm going to start doing giveaways only to the members, because it's only fair. I had been doing giveaways for them occasionally, and just general giveaways for the entire YouTube community. I flipped that, so now I'm going to occasionally do giveaways for the general YouTube community and do giveaways for the members as often as I can support. Like I said, if you want to become a member, there's a link down below. If you just want to support a specific video, like if you like one video, you can drop what's called a super like, which is pretty much, it's like super chat for a pre-recorded video. They used to call it applause. And if you can't do any of those things, I understand money's tight. Just share the videos. Just enjoy hanging out. Like that's the big thing. Have fun. If the channel doesn't make that much money, not a big deal, as long as we're all having fun. So, guys, I love you all. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, like Cinnamon Toast Ken likes to say. And I will tell you what, I will tell you what, guys, you have done an amazing job supporting the channel over the last month. Views are way up. Everything about it is way up. I've got more subscribers. I got new viewers. You guys have been sharing. Jared, you over at Neve's Knives has been amazing. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. The podcast has been going great. I appreciate everyone being an adult and having fun and enjoying and asking probative questions, good questions of the people that I bring on as guests. I want to keep that up. So, guys, that's it. I love you all. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Keep the comment section clean. And I'll see you in the next video.